What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Horsepower Obsessed. Today we are here at Click Lewis in Palmyra, Pennsylvania, because we have a really awesome car coming at you that I had to review once Mike told me it was here. So let's check it out. All right, guys, so here it is. This is a 2021 Camaro ZL1 1LE. This is the biggest, the baddest, the most insane track-capable Camaro ever built, and you can tell by looking at this thing, it is aggressive. It is the most insane, menacing-looking car I have ever seen without adding any kind of aftermarket parts to. Now, this is the car we're going to review today, and I know a lot of you out there are going, well, wait a minute, Justin, I thought Horsepower Obsessed was a Corvette channel. It is, but it's also not. So whenever I made the channel, I just so happened to have a Corvette, and I really like Corvettes. But cars like this cannot be ignored, especially not when they have the power plant from a C7 Corvette Z06. Let's go over some of the details of this car in a little bit more detail. So like I said, guys, this is a 2021 Camaro ZL1 1LE. It is brand new. It is up here at Click Lewis in Palmyra, Pennsylvania. And like I said, this is one heck of a car. Now, you don't see these very often because it is a track-built car. It is built for the track. Most people aren't going to want to spend the amount of money on a car like this and then do nothing but take it to the track. Now, the amount of money I'm talking about, we will talk a little bit more in detail about in a second with that window sticker. But until then, let's talk about some of the obvious stuff. So we have a Riverside blue metallic exterior. I'm not typically a big fan of blue colors, but this is a really awesome looking color on this car. It has a very blue, purplish, metallic look to it, and it looks really cool with all of the black accents. Now, being that it is a ZL1 1LE, it does in fact get the matte black wrapped hood, along with the gigantic carbon fiber bulge, or cowl, which is there, of course, to house that supercharger that's underneath it, which we'll take a look at in a second. Moving down to the front end, we obviously get GM's flow tie. So instead of a bow tie, we cut out the middle for as much airflow as possible. And why don't we call it a flow tie? Definitely looks awesome, and I love the engineering behind stuff like this because you can tell GM just wanted to make sure this thing stays as cool as possible while on the track. Now, while we're on the front, we can't possibly ignore that gigantic front splitter, the gigantic opening down here again to keep things cool, or to eat Honda Civics, or the giant dive planes on the side. So this is something specific to the ZL1 1LE. Your regular ZL1 does not get these, but these are, again, just for aerodynamics and downforce on the front of this car. As if you need any more whenever you have a gigantic splitter like this. But like I said, GM wanted to take your normal Camaro and literally put it on steroids, and then this is it. The spoiler here is a ZL1 1LE option. This is not something you're gonna see on any other Camaro except for the ZL1 1LE, but this is a special option. Even though the spoiler is standard on the ZL1 1LE, the carbon fiber appearance is not. So this is an upgraded option for this particular car, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. Now, that carbon fiber obviously matches very well with the carbon fiber up front. So yeah, a little bit of carbon fiber dressing up the car with its typical blue and black appearance. Definitely looks amazing. So yeah, guys, just walking back up to the garage here, check that thing out. I love how menacing Camaros always end up looking, but let's pop the hood and take a look at that power plant. Like I said, for those of you out there with a C7 Z06, it's gonna look very familiar to you. I almost grabbed it from back here. That's how you can tell I am a Corvette guy. So let's get this thing open. The same power plant out of a C7 Z06. So if you're familiar with those cars, you're going to be very familiar with this look here. Obviously, we changed up the lettering a little bit because on the Corvette, it says Corvette, doesn't say supercharged. But yeah, guys, this thing makes 650 horsepower, 650 foot-pounds of torque. It's all the same as the Z06. Now, where this thing differs, though, is a lot of the aero. It just gives it so much more of a track focus, I guess. I know even the C7 Z06 has a couple different options. If you get the Z07 package, it's pretty track focused as well. This one is kind of the same thing. This is more on the lines of a Z06 with the Z07 package without losing a rear seat. So let's go over the window sticker and see what we're really up against here. Now, like I told you guys, this is the Riverside blue metallic paint. The normal standard vehicle price there is $63,000. So for that price, what you're going to get is your normal ZL1. You are not going to get the 1LE package. whenever you look back at the sticker, you will add a $7,500 option for the 1LE package. And then of course we've got to pay that $1,700 gas guzzler tax and get the infotainment system for $495, red knee pads for $350, the black fuel door with exposed carbon fiber insert, of course, for $280, the red seat belts for $195, and that's going to bring our total to $73,520 before destination charge. Now, as you can see, the actual total for the vehicle is right there, but the best part is it is being sold here at Click Lewis, and I was told to tell you guys that that total is not necessarily your total. So give them a call here. You can talk to either Greg Lewis or Mike Matarazzo. They both will be able to help you out with this car. I am told this is Greg Lewis's deal though, so ask for Greg Lewis, tell him Horsepower Obsessed sent you if you're interested in a ZL1 1LE for less than that price. But anyway, guys, what we're gonna do now, we're gonna take this thing for a ride, because you can't experience a 650 horsepower car by looking at it. One of the biggest reasons to buy a Camaro over a Corvette is, of course, the back seat. But if you could see here, the front seat here is moved back kind of far, but not really too much. And this is how much room the passenger would have in the back seat. There is basically, I can almost fit my hand in there. So basically, unless you're putting something back there that is of a baby stature, it's not gonna work. You're not gonna fit an adult back here real comfortably. And here we go, guys. Of course, we got to go ahead and put this thing in. We're going to put it in sport mode for now, because it is kind of snowy outside. Don't exactly want to be wrecking anybody's brand new Camaro. But what I noticed first thing as soon as I got in here, guys, check it out. This has the same camera rear view mirror option that the C8 has. Pretty cool. So as you guys can see here, pretty customizable gauge display. We got the screen in there, as well as some analog gauges on both sides for the RPM and your mile per hour. Inside there, that's digital, we have oil pressure, coolant temperature, your gas gauge, and of course, you got your boost. Very similar setup here to the C8 Corvette. It is the same kind of MyLink system. It looks like Chevy actually aimed this a little bit towards the driver like that to avoid any kind of glaring from the sun. So it does look a little bit odd being pushed forward like that, but it's still a neat looking approach. Now down here, this is the area where everybody has some questions, and that is of course the HVAC system. So here we can turn the temperature down. As you can see, the temperature is decreasing while I turn this, and right here is where you decrease the fan speed. Over on the passenger side, same thing. So very interesting design here, but we do get heated and cooled seats. Yes, your track-focused Camaro ZL1 1LE will still allow you to heat or cool your butt. So at the end of the day, it doesn't really look like we're missing anything here. We get all of the good amenities here. We got the Alcantara on the steering wheel. We got the Alcantara on the seats. Full leather on the center console here. Red stitching. What more could you ask for? As you can see right there is a blind spot detection. It is standard on this particular car, whether you get the ZL1 or the ZL1 1LE. And of course, just like the Corvette, we also have the rev match paddles here. You turn those on, and when you downshift the manual transmission, it automatically matches the revs, so it's a real nice smooth transition. So this is something that you see in a lot of the GM performance cars here, if they have the man stick, and that's going to give you that ability to rev match, and that's pretty cool. It even tells you on the dash, rev match on, rev match off. Very cool. One of my favorite features on my C7 Corvette ZR1. But anyway, let's take it for a ride. Hey guys, here we go. So wow, that is a stiff suspension. Yes, the car comes with the DSSV Multimatic struts, and that is great for the track. It might not be so good for the daily driving. It is very stiff, and this car does not have the ability to go between tour and track the way the Corvettes do and give you that extra softness and tour. This is going to be pretty much stiff all the time. Now, with that said, this car has absolutely no body roll, and the little bit I've driven it, going back and forth, I mean, this thing is planted, and it's absolutely incredible. But here we go, guys. So, because this car is brand new, wow, yeah. So yeah, since it's brand new, we don't get to drive at 40,000 miles or even 40 miles. We're gonna put very few miles on this thing. I'm thinking probably between 2 and 3. But at the end of the day, that is more than enough mileage to experience what this car has to offer. I'm not even 2 seconds out of the dealership lot, and I can already tell you this suspension is very, very stiff. It's not something I would want to daily drive, I don't think. I'll give it a little bit more time, but it is definitely a track car. You can very clearly see the hood bulge out of the front. You can see that satin wrapped or matte black hood. You can hear the exhaust. You can hear the supercharger pretty nice. Wow, I like it. I can hear that supercharger way more than I could in my C7 Z06. It's stiff, but I don't know. The steering is real tight. I mean, I'm in sport mode right now, so the steering is going to tighten up a little bit, but it is definitely tight. All right, we're going to go onto this road here that has some manhole covers and see what we got. We got no traction, that's what we got. Let's see what it is. Yeah, she's stiff. This thing, man, I'm liking it though. It feels nice in the hands. This is definitely it's a rough riding car. This suspension is definitely stiff, but rightfully so. The car, it handles itself well. It responds to the turns and everything very well. It is definitely a little bit rough, but I don't know if I'd complain. Listen to this. Oh man, I like it. I like it a lot. Like I said, the tires are not liking the cold so much. Now, these are Goodyear supercars, and like I said, I used to have a 5th generation Camaro. They had the same tires. They don't like the cold. I'm used to that though with my Corvette. Same kind of thing. Wow, yeah. This suspension is so stiff. My God. Guys, this suspension is very stiff, but on a track, I don't think I could daily drive this car. This is very, very, very stiff. I can't even talk without sounding like I'm going over a bunch of bumps, because I am, and this car is just not hiding any of it. Oh yeah, it's stiff. But guys, you know what you're getting when you buy a car like this. It is a stiff suspension. It is built for the track. I know I keep saying that, but that's what the 1LE part stands for. It does look cool, and if I was putting this thing on, if I needed to buy a car to put on the track and that was all I was doing with it, this is a good buy. Oh, listen to the popcorn back there. That's the stock exhaust too. Like this is a very nice car. And I mean, if you're, like I said, if you're purpose buying it, you're purposely getting exactly what you want. On the interior, the only thing you really can't get with the ZL1 1LE is, of course, the sunroof. I didn't see an option on GM's website for the 2021s to have a sunroof, and that's typical for a car that's going to be on the track, because it limits, a sunroof will limit headroom. So it's going to limit how much room you have for a helmet. Makes sense. Listen to these pops, guys. It's making some popcorn. We are taking the car back to the dealer. I don't want to go crazy on the miles, like I said, but I definitely got to experience the suspension enough to know that I would not daily drive this car. It is pretty stiff. Now, the DSSV struts, you guys, you kind of got to know that it's going to handle its business on the track, but everyday driving, it's just not going to be what you want. At least not in my opinion. Of course, you thrill seekers out there, maybe this is exactly what you want on the road. For me, I definitely would want something a little more comfortable, especially here in Pennsylvania. We have some seriously ripped up roads, especially during the winter time. It's not what I would want. I am extremely grateful I got to experience this though, guys. Like I've said before, Click Lewis in Palmyra, Pennsylvania, definitely the place you want to go. Hit up Greg Lewis, tell him Horsepower Obsessed sent you if you are interested in this car or any car on the Click Lewis website. Oh my goodness, these bumps in this car, it's rough. I do hear a lot of the supercharger whine though. I don't know how well that's going to come through on camera, but it sounds pretty good. Suspension is so freaking stiff. My God.
There's Mike Matarazzo right there.
Say hi to the camera, Mike.
Hi to the camera, Mike.
All right, guys, that is going to do it for today's video. So if you enjoyed the review of the ZL1 1LE, let me know down in the comments below and smash that thumbs up button. This car is actually very, very, very cool. So I knew coming into this was going to be an amazing car to drive, and it absolutely is. Now, with that said, I don't think I would daily drive a car with the DSSV Multimatic struts because it is extremely jarring. Now, that's coming from somebody who owns a ZR1 and also has a pretty stiff suspension on that car, but that has the ability to change between Tour, Sport, and Track, where Track is the stiffest, and of course Tour gives you a little bit more of a plush ride. This one is kind of stuck in a Track sort of suspension the entire time, and yeah, it's not really built to be a grocery getter. Now, with that said, if you're looking for a Track car, this is absolutely, definitely 100% the car you want to get, because this thing is going to be insane on any track. But anyway, guys, that is going to do it for today's video. Like I said, if you are interested in this car from Click Lewis in Palmyra, Pennsylvania, definitely hit up Mike Matarazzo or Greg Lewis and tell him Horsepower Obsessed sent you. They will definitely make sure you are fully taken care of and you get to go home with this baby. If you guys haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do. I have loads of car reviews like this coming, a bunch of C7, C8 Corvette stuff coming you are not going to want to miss. And as always, guys, I will catch you in the next upload.